Hey guys, Joey here again. There were just a few things that I wanted to touch base with all of y'all on. As you know, I have gone rail fanning 3 times in the past week. I went this past Sunday, the previous Friday, and the Sunday last week. I just want you to know that I am very exhausted, so I'm going to be taking at least a 2-week break, and my next rail fanning trip will probably not be on NS. It will be on another one. I'm not going to say which one. Now, most of y'all are probably at this point thinking, well, he's only 24 years old. Why is he so tired? Well, anyway, this is why. This is not a very easy thing for me to talk about, but most of y'all who have been following my channel probably know this by now. For those of you who don't and or have forgotten, I will go ahead and reiterate for you. I have a seizure disorder. I started having seizures my senior year of high school, and I am on a lot of medication trying to keep them under control. I am on Keppra and I am on trileptal, both of which can make you very, very tired, and also Keppra can cause some weight gain as well. So I am on a lot of, as I said, I'm on a lot of medication to try to get them under control, which is why I get tired so easily. In fact, I'm surprised I actually haven't had a seizure from all the stuff I've put myself through with all this rail fanning, because I went rail fanning a lot more often than I usually do. But I had a lot of time off, and but let it be noted that two out of the 3 rail fanning trips that I have gone on, I've been up since 7 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed out until well after 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I am very tired and I need some rest, not to mention I have some company coming down from out of town next weekend, or this coming weekend I should say. So I'm not going to have any time, so the earliest I can probably rail fan again will be 2nd week of July if I'm lucky. So yeah, that's the reason why. I have had 17 seizures since I started having them in 2007. They went away for a little while, but then they came back, then they went away again, and now I've had about 3 or 4 of them since. I haven't had any for at least a month or 2 now, well, probably about almost a month. But anyway, like I said, because of all the medicines that I am on, I get tired very easily. That, combined with the fact that I have company coming over, is why I'm not going to be able to get to the tracks till probably in the next, the 2nd week of July, I mean. Anyway, with that out of the way, there was a couple of other things I wanted to mention to you. My friend Barry Amon, y'all have heard him in the background on some of my videos, and I've talked about him before. He's the one in one of the Amtrak videos that you've seen at Suffolk where he's talking to Greg and I, and you hear him say, "Now you children play nice until we get back." To which I reply, "Yes, sir." That's him. I don't know if he's ever made a... Actually, he has made an appearance in one of my videos. If you look up the Collier guy, the Collier group having a great time, you'll see him. He's the one that laughs, that's sitting on the guardrail. Anyway, that's not the point though. The point is, he told me that come July 17th, NS is going to be activating the new CTC signals between Disputana and Ivor, which means trains are going to be able to run either track, either direction. They're also going to be installing new double crossovers. They're also, I don't know if I mentioned this before in my other videos or not, but they're also putting in 2 extra tracks at the Po auto ramp, so trains won't have to stop and wait for other trains, i.e. 23G or V18 won't have to wait for the Amtrak or whatever. They can just run them right around. Right now it's single directional ABS, so they just run them either track, either direction. Eastbound's main 1, westbound's main 2. Like that. So that's the case right now. However, July 17th things are going to be different. They'll be able to run it, as I said, either track, either direction. They're going to have several crossovers between Suffolk and Crewe. So they'll be able to run it a lot more efficiently that way. July 17th, unless they push it back, is the official date, I believe, for the CTC signals to start operating. So that'll really come in handy, because when we see a green light, we'll know that something's going to be coming fairly soon. So you can bet that I'm going to be doing plenty of rail fanning on NS as well, because there will be new signals at Windsor, there will be new signals at Ivor, there will be new signals at Wakefield, and so on and so forth. There will also be another signal set just west of Wakefield. I caught an NS 820 with that Skyrail leader about maybe a little less than a month ago, and you can see the old signals when the train's approaching, and then the new signals are right next to the crossing. So I'll probably be doing some rail fanning there too as well, even though my mom doesn't particularly care for that spot, but I might give that a try. I don't know if it'll be like an all-day thing, but I want to at least catch a couple of trains there if I do another rail fanning trip. Anyway, so now that that topic is out of the way, one other thing I wanted to mention. I also got word from Barry that Amtrak is going to add 2 new Amtrak trains on NS in the fall. In fact, I am very, very surprised that this has not happened sooner, due to the fact that the Amtrak ridership to Norfolk is doing so well. I also heard rumors going around that Amtrak might be adding 2 extra trains to Newport News to compete with the Norfolk service. Only problem is it's the Peninsula Sub that goes to Newport News. I'm jumping off subject here, but just briefly. Basically, as most of you know, the Peninsula Sub is a single track main line with double track sidings that are about, I don't know, 6 to 8 miles long or so, give or take a few. And because of that, trains have to pull over. Now the problem is if they add 2 extra Amtrak trains or so, they're probably going to have to redouble track the line. Now CSX is telling Amtrak, if you want the double track, then you pay for it. CSX isn't going to pay for it, because that's just the way they are. No offense to CSX, but that's the way they want to play it. And so as a result, if they decide to add 2 to 4 new Amtrak trains on the Peninsula Sub as well, they're probably going to have to redouble track the line, which means that the Peninsula Sub is probably going to be closed off for most of the day, similar to what the Norfolk District was, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that, when the trains didn't start running until the evening. But anyway, getting back to the Norfolk Amtrak service, in October, they're going, or I don't know if it's October, but sometime in the autumn, they are planning on doing 2 new Amtrak trains, one east and one west. Right now we got one that leaves early in the morning and one that comes either evening or late at night. Late at night on Saturday, but Monday through Friday and Sunday in the evening. Say around probably, I don't know, I think it gets into Norfolk at like 8 o'clock or 8 something. Anyway, now don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I think the 2 new Amtrak trains that are coming to the Norfolk District are going to be run very similar to what Amtrak's 66 and 67 do on the Peninsula Sub at the moment. PO 67 or Northeast Regional 67, take your pick, will run to Newport News. We'll get to Newport News about a little before noon or a little after noon, depending on whether it's late or not. The westbound counterpart, 66, will leave Newport News just before 5 p.m. So either way, that'll come in handy, because I could get at least one daylight shot of an afternoon Amtrak train when the days get shorter. Now, like I said, I don't know if that's the way they're going to run things, but I think they'd be wise to have maybe a late morning, early afternoon Amtrak and an evening departure out of Norfolk. The goal is, right now there's one, like I said, there's one westbound in the morning and one eastbound in the evening or nighttime, depending on which day. The goal is to have 6 Amtrak trains total, 3 westbound, 3 eastbound, or 3 outbound, 3 inbound. Take your pick, whatever choice of words you want to use. Anyway, unfortunately, the Newport News train is the only real one that I could speak of that I'd be able to actually take, because it leaves at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning or so. The Monday through Friday train out of the Monday through Friday and Sunday train, I want to say, leaves about 4:50 in the morning out of Norfolk, and I think on Saturday, either Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure which, it leaves at 6:05. That's way too early for me. So if I wanted to go anywhere, I'd probably have to take the Newport News service. So I'm hoping that maybe when NS gets those 2 extra Amtrak trains, maybe they'll add another train that'll leave at like 9:30 out of Norfolk. So I don't really know how things are going to go, but we'll just have to see what happens. But anyway, I'm just giving you the gist of what's happening right now and what's going to happen as far as the Amtrak trains are concerned, as far as the CTCs are concerned. Actually, now that I think about it, speaking of CTC, the Peninsula Sub is very quickly getting rid of their old C&O style signals that have the red on the top and the green on the bottom, which I absolutely love because it's very counteractive to the way most signals are, which have the green on the top and the red on the bottom. But as you know, as most of you know, for those of you who don't, the C&O signals have the green on the bottom, and some of the new replacements seen on the Peninsula Sub have the green on the bottom. But I'll put it this way. Those signals have been there since the 1940s at least. I was told, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told from another rail fan that cantilever bridge shaped like this at Lightfoot dates back to 1946, which is 43 years before I was even born. I wasn't even thought of. That was before my mom's time. I think my grandmother had just graduated high school when that thing was installed. So, I mean, those things are really, really old. And unfortunately, they're going to be gone soon. And I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with the phrase, well, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. And that's exactly how I feel. These signals are working just fine, but yet they're going to replace them. Now, for those of you who are wondering whether or not they're going to be LED or incandescent signals, the truth is, I don't freaking know. I'm really not sure. I would guess they're probably going to be LED because the Buckingham branch signals up near Charlottesville and places west are mostly LED signals, so I'm guessing that's what they'll do. They're probably going to put the green on the top instead of the bottom like the C&O traditional style, because the ones on the BB, the Buckingham Branch Railroad, or BB for short, dead. So for those of you who are very, very big fans of C&O style signals, all I can say is get out there, take as many pictures as you can, because they are not going to last long. I think West End Lee Hall, per my buddy David Tooley, I think West End Lee Hall has already been replaced. I'm not really sure, but he said there was one by Henry Branscombe, I think the name of it was, that's already been replaced. And if it's the one that's right across the river there, I won't be able to. If it's the one right across from where the Newport News reservoir is, I won't be able to get to it to photograph it, but I'll be able to see it through the trees. As I said, I think that one has already been replaced. I really don't know, but I have heard that there was another one west of Williamsburg that's been replaced too. So as I said, if you love seeing those signals, get out there, take as many pictures as you can, because they are not going to last. They are being taken down, and they are being taken down very, very fast. So my advice is, like I said, get out there, take your pictures, because pretty soon they're only going to be a memory. And And I apologize for the background noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but we're having people put new liner in our pool and they're completely redoing our pool, so excuse the background noise if any of that comes into the video. Anyway, so that's enough rambling from me. Like I said, I wanted to give you the gist of what's going on and what's going to happen in the near future as far as rail fanning is concerned. So anyway, this is Joey Gattuso, aka VA Rail Fan 89. Have a good day. Stay safe at the tracks, and I will see you later. Take care, everybody.